Escrow, why is it, why you need it, and what you need to know as a home buyer. From wiring your earnest money deposit to handling amendments to the contract, I'm going to fill you in on all the key details that you need to know. Hi, I'm David Mercier. I am a licensed realtor in the state of California who believes dream homes do come true. I help people get from where they're at to the dream home they've been thinking about for years, no matter where you're at. If you are renting and you see the power that real estate has in building wealth, you want to get started, or maybe you're just not feeling like where you're at is your forever home, I can help. I teach people all the time how to take their financial situation and their goals and make a plan to reach their dream home. And it could be a million steps, it could be a few steps, but I am there for you to achieve that dream. If that's something that's interesting to you, reach out to me. I'd love to see if we're a good fit to work together. And I can help you do that anywhere in the world. I'm based in California and I have helped people buy all over California, but I have a great network around the world. And so no matter where you want to end up, we can work together. So reach out. But for now, go ahead and subscribe to this home buying journey series and let's get started on discussing escrow. So as I mentioned in my previous video, escrow is kind of like the transaction referee. They are a neutral third party and their job is to take the contracts that you have made with the property seller and make sure that both sides are performing all of the tasks that you guys have agreed to in those contracts. Now, for you as the buyer, that is going to be things like sending your earnest money deposit, which is a good faith deposit that's part of your total down payment that you put into an escrow account to say like, hey, we're serious about buying this home and we're going to move forward by putting this deposit in. And then they're also going to make sure that should something go awry with the escrow, that you are awarded your money back, depending on the reason for the escrow being canceled. Like we've mentioned, there are tons of protections for buyers in the contract. A lot of buyers get nervous about sending their earnest money deposit, but it is a necessary step to show the seller that you're serious. But you have a lot of contractual agreements built in to protect you. And so should you learn something about the property, should your loan not go through, you are protected and you'll get your money back. There are a few little situations where you might not get your money back if it's towards the end of escrow and you just decide it's not the home for you. But for the most part, you are protected. Escrow is also going to be working with your lender and the title company. So not just your agent and the seller's agent. So they're going to make sure that the lender is performing. The lender has in the contract also needs to get your loan together by a certain date, make sure an appraisal happens by a certain date, and makes sure that all of the loan documents are signed by a certain date. So escrow is going to help with that process. And then with the title, they're going to reach out to the title company and make sure that the transfer can happen, that there's no liens or unknown things happening with the house. And if there are, then the escrow, the title, and both agents on both sides of the transaction are going to work together with the seller and with you to figure out the next steps. And then they're also going to make sure that the title insurance policy is valid and in place before your transfer happens. There's going to be times where escrow has you sign documents, and there's going to be times where your agent or their assistant has you sign documents, and then also the loan company is going to have you sign documents. You need to think of all of these people as your team. Everybody is there on your side, but don't sign anything that your agent hasn't given you a heads up about. Or if you have any questions about things, you should always check with your agent first. I always tell people to not worry about bothering me no matter what time of day it is. You might be working late hours and get an email with some documents to sign from the escrow company or from your lender, and it is always okay to ask your agent if you should sign stuff before you sign it. You should always read everything thoroughly before you sign it. There are times where I will send a 90-page document to people and get it back in a few minutes, totally signed. And even though I have told them to expect it, I love that my clients trust me that much, but I still want you to thoroughly read through everything so there's no surprises when we get down the road in your purchase. But escrow is where all of these documents end up. And at the end of the full transaction and closing, if you're working with me, you'll get a digital file that includes everything that you've looked at and everything that you've signed. So you can have it either on your computer or put it on a storage system that you can refer to and have forever. Now, sometimes during escrow, you will be asked to sign some amendments. Now, these are our updates or changes to the initial contract that you have, the offer and counteroffers documents. And these can be anything from a change in the purchase price, depending on your inspections or your appraisal. Sometimes agents will offer a credit to their own client. For example, if the request for repairs doesn't go as planned and the sellers don't want to give you the full amount that you're asking for and they come down a little bit and you still want to walk away and your agent says like, oh, like I can throw in like $500 of my commission, that needs to be an amendment to your initial contract to show that a portion of the agent's commission will be credited to you. So at different points along the way, there might be some amendments that you need to sign. So that is something to just be aware of. And then escrow will work with you to sign all of the final documents, like your loan docs and anything else that escrow needs your signature on before closing. Usually a handful of days before closing happens, they're going to reach out to you to set up an appointment. Depending on which escrow you use, you might have to go to their office. They might send a notary to your agent's office, or sometimes they can also send a notary to your home. Typically, this person is going to sit down with you for an hour or so. They're going to tell you what each section of documents are that you're signing and give you the chance to read through them. A lot of times you'll have received them beforehand so you can read through everything thoroughly. This is just a time for you to double check that everything is the same. A good agent will come to that appointment with you. If you have questions or if you want them there, or if you don't want them there, you can also tell them that. But usually, when you are doing this, there's different fees associated with the notary depending on where you sign them. So sometimes it's more convenient to sign them at your home, but there might be a charge of an extra $150 to your closing costs for doing that. And if your budget is super tight, make sure you talk to your agent about what fees can I try to lessen as much as possible. And that is a totally fair question. A lot of buyers are putting as much money as they can towards their down payment, and even a little bit of a savings here and there can really add up. And then as you approach your closing day, you'll work with escrow and your agent to make sure that everything stays on track. Escrow will let you know when they've received the loan amount deposited into the escrow account, that they have given you the clear to close. And then as you approach closing day, which we'll get into all the details, but basically the title company actually goes and records the transfer of the deed at the county and tells escrow that it's been done. And then escrow will let everybody know that you have officially closed on your house. It is officially yours as the buyer. And depending on what your contract says for taking possession of the home, your agent will remind you when that can happen. So that is escrow in a nutshell. I hope that this was helpful. Of course, if you have questions, put them in the comment below. You can also find me online everywhere and ask me questions that way. And remember, if you need an agent in Southern California or anywhere in the world, I'm your guy. I'd love to chat and see if we are a good fit to work together. In the meantime, please subscribe and have a great day, guys.